In the beginning, there was nothing at all. Then God created the heavens and the earth, but everything was still covered in darkness. So God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God called the light day and the darkness night. And that was the first day and the first night. Then God said, "Let us create the sky to separate the waters above the sky from the waters below the sky." This was the second day. Then God said, "Let the waters below the sky come together so dry land can appear." He called the dry land earth and the water seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth produce all kinds of plants and trees." This was the third day. Then God created lights in the sky, the sun for the day and the moon for the night. God also created the stars, and God saw that it was good. This was the fourth day. Then God created all the animals that live in the sea, and all the animals that live in the air. Then God saw that it was good. This was the fifth day. Then God created all the land animals, large and small. Then God created human beings and said, "They will be like us and look like us." God saw that it was good. This was the sixth day. And on the seventh day, God rested from all his work. The first human being God created was Adam. And God put Adam in a garden east of Eden. God told him that he can eat of every tree in the garden, except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that was in the midst of the garden. God said, "If you eat of it, you will be separated from me." Then God brought all the animals to Adam so he can name them. You will be called a rabbit. You will be called a fox. You will be called an elephant. You will be called a lion. You will be called a giraffe. You up there, you will be called a parrot. You on the pond, you will be called a duck. Among all the animals, there wasn't a partner found for Adam. So God made Adam fall into a deep sleep, took one of his ribs, closed it up, and used it to create Eve. When God brought Eve to Adam, he was so surprised and said, "You will be called woman because you were taken out of man." Now the serpent, who was the most clever animal in the garden, said to Eve, "Did God say you could not eat of every tree in the garden?" And Eve said, "God told us we may eat of every tree in the garden, but we cannot eat or even touch the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or else we will be separated from God." Then the serpent said, "You will not die, but you will be like God and know good and evil." The fruit did look ripe and delicious, thought Eve, so she took, ate, and gave some to Adam. When God came to talk to them, he saw Adam hiding behind a bush, and he knew what they had done. He cursed the snake and banished Adam and Eve from the garden, so they won't eat of the tree of life and live forever separated from God. God told them that they would have to work hard in order to make food, clothes, and shelter themselves. Then he put an angel in front of the garden with a flaming sword so no one can ever enter it. God sent Adam and Eve out of the garden and told them that they would have to work hard in order to eat, clothe, and shelter themselves. Now Adam's wife Eve was pregnant and she gave birth to Cain. Then Eve was pregnant again and gave birth to Abel, Cain's brother. Cain was a farmer. And Abel was a shepherd. Then Cain came to offer to God the first fruits of his crops. Then Abel also brought up the firstborn of his flock to offer to God. God respected Abel's offering, but he did not respect Cain's offering, and this made Cain very angry. After this, Cain went to talk to his brother Abel in the fields. Then Cain lost his temper and picked up a rock and killed his brother Abel. Then God said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" He said, "I do not know. I am not in charge of my brother." And God said, "You have killed your brother. His blood is now crying out to me from the ground. You are cursed from the earth. You will no longer be able to farm from it. You will always move from place to place on all the earth." And Cain said to God, "My punishment is more than I can take. What if someone finds me and kills me?" Then God put a mark on Cain so that no one would ever kill him. Then Cain fled before the presence of God and his family. Now a lot of people were being born on the earth, and the human population started to increase. There were also giants on the earth in those days. Then God saw that there was a lot of violence on the earth. People were becoming very evil, and every thought they had was to do evil. So God felt sorry that he created human beings. God said, "I will destroy both people and animals off the face of the earth." But Noah was a good man. He walked with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Then God said to Noah, "I will flood the earth to kill both humans and animals. Every living thing will die. Make yourself an ark to save you, your sons, your wife, your sons' wives, and 2 each of every living thing, male and female." Noah did all that God told him to do. Then God said to Noah, "Come into the ark with your family and bring 7 each of every clean and unclean animal and of every bird, male and female." In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 7th day of the month, all the springs that were under the ground were loosed, and the sky was opened so that it rained heavily on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. The waters covered all the high hills and mountains, and every living thing, including human beings, died. Then God remembered Noah, his family, and all the animals that were in the ark. So God made the waters to stop. The springs that were under the ground were closed, and the rain from the sky stopped pouring. The ark rested on the mountains of Ararat. Then God told Noah, "Get out of the ark with your wife, your sons' wives, and every living thing." Then God put a rainbow in the sky as a sign that he will never again destroy the earth with a flood. One of Noah's sons, called Ham, had a son and called him Cush. Then Cush had a son and called him Nimrod. Nimrod began to be a great king on the earth. He was a mighty conqueror before the Lord. People began using his name as a proverb. They would say, "You are like Nimrod, the mighty conqueror before the Lord." Nimrod built a kingdom starting from Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Babylonia. From here he spread his kingdom towards Assyria and built Nineveh, Reboth-ir, Calah, and Rezin between Nineveh and Calah, which became a great city. By this time, all the peoples of the earth had one language and everyone used the same words. The people traveled from the east and founded a plain in the land of Shinar, also called Babylonia, and they stayed there. They began to say to each other, "Let's make bricks and harden them with fire. Let's build a great city and a tower that reaches all the way up into the sky. We will become famous on the earth, and this will keep us from being scattered over all the earth." God was watching what they were doing and saw the city and the tower which the people were building for themselves. But God did not agree with what the people were doing, so he said, "The people are now united. They all speak the same language, and anything they imagine to do, they will do it, and no one will be able to stop them. Come, let us go down and confuse them by giving them different languages, so they won't be able to understand each other." God gave the peoples different languages and scattered them over all the earth, and they stopped building the city and the tower.